bit of a rough start here this morning. The van took a little bit more to start than usual. I mean, it is around freezing, but I've been thinking for a while that at least a few of my glow plugs aren't working. So I'm pretty sure it's not the glow plug relay, it's just the glow plugs themselves. I'm not really going to fix it because it does start pretty much every time. It just is a little rougher than it should. Anyways, today I'm headed back up north, going to take the bus back to a storage unit and pick up my car for another work week. This should be a really nice drive down the gorge. The wind seems to have really died down, so driving should be a lot easier. I'm going to pick up some fuel while I'm down here next to Oregon. It's the closest gas station anyways, but also fuel here is something like 40-50 cents per gallon less than it is up north where I keep the bus. So that's going to be really good. And this time, instead of taking the interstate, I'm just going to stay on the Washington side. There's some interesting waterfalls and stuff that you should see. From what I understand, it's a shorter drive, but it takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot nicer. And I don't mind a little bit lower speed limit. I just get better fuel mileage, and pretty scenery is always great. So let's hit the road. Well, that was an adventure. So the first gas station that I tried to go to, the fuel was really expensive. I don't know why. So I went to a different gas station and fuel was the normal price for Oregon. And I almost forgot that Oregon, at least normally you can't fill your own tanks. They have attendants that come and do that for you. Actually, you're not normally allowed to fill your own tanks. But right now you can fill your own tanks, which is a little bit unusual. But the attendants are still there, so she was there telling me how to fill my own tank like I didn't know how to do it. It was really funny. So anyways, we're back down the highway again. It was kind of dangerous, but the next tunnel I went through had a large 18-wheeler that was trying to work its way through the middle of the tunnel, and so I barely avoided hitting it, and the logging truck that was behind me, they came to a screeching halt, and I didn't see it for ages. But those tunnels were actually a little bit scary going through, just because you couldn't see the other end, and there were semi-trucks that couldn't really fit properly through them, that were trying to use the road. Well, there were some amazing views up there on the gorge. I recommend that anyone in the area try that drive. The Washington side of the gorge is definitely a lot nicer drive than the Oregon side, just because the Oregon side has the interstate, and interstates tend to be a lot less interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't get footage from every scenic viewpoint that was up there, There were a lot that I just couldn't get in. There were a lot of cars up there already parked, and I couldn't get the bus into the viewpoints to take any pictures. But now I'm just headed up I-5. I stopped for lunch at a rest stop, nothing too exciting, and I'll be back in Cedro Woolley in no time, hopefully before the rain starts. I finally made it back to the storage unit. It was supposed to be about a 5-hour drive, maybe a little bit over, and it ended up taking just over 9 hours, and that was mostly because of just huge amounts of traffic between Tacoma and Seattle. And it's not like I was driving during rush hour either. This was just the middle of the day, 2-3 p.m., and there's just ridiculous amounts of traffic and accidents and all kinds of fun stuff. That's always the risk you take going up and down I-5, but it's another weekend done, and I'm glad I went down there to get out of the rain. It's actually warmed up a little bit here, but I can see all the tops of the hills have snow on them, so I definitely made the right choice by heading south. Looks like next weekend is supposed to have really good weather, so hopefully next weekend's adventure will be a little bit closer in, probably up in the mountains, and it should be a lot warmer. So thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one.